Peter Pan, the orphanage of the ego. Once upon a time, a boy refused to grow up, not because he was free, but because he was afraid. Afraid that if the mask aged, the wearer would vanish. So a place was invented where change never lands and landing never changes. They called it Neverland. It sounds eternal, but it isn't eternity. It's a loop. A carousel painted as a sky. Flight stands in for peace and chasing stands in for purpose. Pirates keep the plot alive so the mind never has to be still. Stillness would end the show. Peter isn't the saint of youth, he's the mascot of denial. He doesn't transcend time, he dodges it. I'll stay young forever by staying unreal, says the dream. That is not eternity, that is stasis. Captain Hook proves it. He is grievance with a feathered hat, the hand that won't let go. A crocodile swallowed his watch, so time follows him like a guilty drum. Tick-tock is the echo of attack replayed in memory, bite by bite. Every accusation adds another tick. Every revenge fantasy adds another tock. Hook thinks peace comes when Peter pays. The ego always invoices someone else. If blame could buy freedom, everyone would be rich. But blame only purchases more time to suffer. Meanwhile, a tiny glow circles the scene. Tinker Bell is specialness with glitter. She shines only when believed in and dims the moment attention softens. Even her name confesses the game. Tinker for endless patching, Bell for constant notice. Tinkering is the ego's career. Make small, noisy fixes to what was never broken. Do you believe in fairies? Is really, will you co-sign this illusion? Withdraw belief and specialness fades. Truth doesn't need applause to exist. Now the shadow. Peter arrives to get his shadow back, and Wendy sews it to his shoes. That is the whole metaphysics in one scene, reattaching darkness instead of remembering light. A shadow is only where light is blocked. Wanting it back is asking to be opaque again. Sewing the shade is sewing on the self-image. It keeps the story going, but it costs awareness. The Lost Boys are the chorus of fragments that forgot their source. They make houses in trees, hold bedtime courts, and declare a holiday from cause and effect. In every version, Neverland is a dreamland for children who lost their parents. That line is a bell of truth. The ego is the orphan identity, the story that left home and then claimed home left it. So an orphanage is built where nothing is allowed to grow, because growth would expose the lie of lack. Here is the deeper hinge. Growing up in spirit isn't chronological. It's the end of outsourcing causation. Hook blames Peter. Peter blames time. Tink blames Wendy. The pirates blame the Indians. The Indians blame the pirates. Every faction keeps the wheel turning, so no one must look within. Lesson. Looking within ends the chase because nothing outside can be the cause of what is felt. That's why sameness as a fantasy collapses. Ask Archibald Beechcroft. When the world became his mirror, he begged for the world back. The horror wasn't them. It was a hall of me. Neverland sells sameness too, just in a different costume. Endless boyhood, recycled scenes, reusable enemies. It feels safe because it is known. It feels thrilling because it is threatened. Safety and thrill, two masks on the same hook. Watch the tick-tock chase on Hook's deck. The crocodile hunts the hand that points at everyone else. Time devours its maker when guilt won't be released. Hook's hook is the curve of clinging. It is literally shaped to hold the grievance. His missing hand is agency handed over to the past. Peter's wings are the other half of the split, evasion disguised as freedom. One cannot stop fighting, the other cannot stop flying. Both are exhausted by a ground they refuse to touch. And Wendy? Wendy is memory with a lullaby. She tells stories that stitch meaning where Tinker stitches shadows. She mothers the mind by reminding it of home. Even the retellings place her as caretaker and storyteller, gathering the boys, cooking, stitching and guiding. The Holy Spirit plays Wendy in every mind, not demanding belief, only offering remembrance. Notice the script beats that never change. Shadow sewn to shoe, fairy dust to fly, pirates to fight, the clock crocodile to fear, and at last a return to London. Return is always offered. Refusal is always optional. Peter often declines. Declining is the right to dream a little longer, but the offer stands in every scene. Here's the holy flip. People don't fear wrinkles. They fear erasure. Aging threatens the poster, not the light. So the world sells tinctures and tinkers and bells. Bodies are tuned like instruments in a band that never stops playing the same chorus. The chorus says, "Stay young by staying unreal." But eternity is not extended youth. It is absent time. Timelessness is not more clock. It is no clock. When blame is dropped, the hook falls. When belief is withdrawn, the fairy fades. When shadow is not resewn, the light needs no repair. Landing is not death to freedom. Landing is rest from running. Growth, as the ego defines it, implies lack, distance and delay. Remembrance ends all three in a single instant. So the true ending writes itself. Peter grows up by waking up. Hook lets go by forgiving what never happened. Tink learns that real light doesn't need to be believed. The lost boys remember they were never lost. And the crocodile? Without guilt to feed on, even time goes hungry. The ship becomes a sky again, but now no one needs to fly to feel free. Heaven is not someday. It is not too with now. Neverland wasn't the destination. It was the detour. Home was the point the whole time. And in the silence after the last tick, laughter returns as if it never left. Because it never did.